everyone, welcome. You're watching Business Today Television. This is Market Today. I'm Sakshi Batra. Well, equity markets in India have extended their gains for third consecutive session as of yesterday. We've seen the Nifty closing 70 points higher to close above 22,900 mark as of yesterday. The broader markets outperformed significantly with the Nifty mid-cap index jumping about 2.6%. Across the board, there was sharp gains on the sectors, barring just slight losses on IT and FMCG. Rest all of the sectors had posted gains, and there were several pockets that actually drove the show, including the defense names. Many of them rallied up to 20%, like GRSE, Mazagon, Cochin, all of them coming back in favor. Now, of course, this was also driven by the market sentiments across the globe, the positive global cues, and the FII inflows also that we had seen. Now, but what we have been also noticing is that the sentiment is turning for the better in anticipation of the kind of positivities that we will be seeing across the globe. US Fed overnight has again left rates unchanged. Remember, they have also signaled further cuts ahead. They have also pointed out that despite the uncertain effects of the President Donald Trump's tariff talk, their ambitious fiscal policies, including tax cuts and deregulation, officials still are anticipating a half-odd percentage point kind of a rate cut going forward from here by the end of 2025. And that has further pushed up the US markets overnight as well. Remember, FOMC highlighted the heightened uncertainty around the current economic climate, and that's something that we need to keep an eye out on. The committee has revised its economic forecast downward, projecting the economy to grow at 1.7% this year, which is a 0.4 percentage point decrease from the December projections that they had given. Meanwhile, inflation expectations were also revised upwards. But we did see across the board in the US, upticks across the board. S&P 500 over 1% higher, Nasdaq up by 1.4%, Dow Jones also nearly a percent up in trade as well. And we also saw the Magnificent Seven, the gauge of top 7 American tech companies, including Alphabet, Amazon, Apple, Meta Platforms, Tesla, Nvidia, and even Microsoft surging about 4%. So, reversal of the losses that we had seen on the tech stocks also buoying the sentiments in the US markets. Following this, we've actually seen across the board in Asia also many sectors and many indices pointing out to increase. Kospi, for instance, was 0.5% higher in trade. Australian index also gained in trade. Futures of Hang Seng, however, were marginally lower, but the Japanese markets are closed for a public holiday. GIFT Nifty at the point in time is indicative of a starting above 23,000 odd levels. So let's hope that continues. Foreign investors' portfolios, remember, when we talk about the FIIs, they've again turned net sellers in the Indian equity markets after a day of buying. So we've seen 1,096 odd crore rupees of a sell-off from them, although the domestic institutional investors have continued their buying spree. 2,100 odd crore rupees has been seen from their end as well. We'll be waiting by to join in with our top market expert this morning to help us understand how the markets will take shape. But meanwhile, the markets have started to take in the pre-open 22,814. That's in fact 70 points lower in trade. So there is a start in the red as far as the Nifty is concerned. We will be also looking at some of the key stocks that you need to watch out for today. Of course, we have, whole host of names like the banks and financials that were supporting the markets. So let's see whether those are continuing. Stocks like ICICI Bank, stocks like HDFC, Kotak, and even the, NBFC names like Shriram Finance and even Bajaj Finance and FinServ. Let's pull up all of those stocks for you to see how in the pre-open trade are we looking at that. But let's actually welcome Mr. Devin Choksi, MD of DR Choksi FinServ, who's joining in. Warm welcome to you, sir. And there you have it. With your presence on the screen, 23,000 is back as far as the Nifty is concerned on pre-open. We're finally seeing some recovery take shape, something that we've been waiting for a long time now. First up, I want to understand from you, are you really taking this recovery rally that we are seeing with a pinch of salt, or do you think that finally we have probably made a bottom and we are on a course correction zone right now?
Good morning, Sakshi. I think maybe we can rewind back to last Thursday's discussion, wherein I categorically mentioned that the market is on the course of recovery and it could possibly bounce back between 30% to about 70 to 80% in some of the stocks. And that's a reality. largely because of the fact that two, three reasons which I had cited then, and I think they are valid today as well. The short selling come selling by the FPI happened largely because of the currency devaluation, the rupee devaluation, and that was against dollar strengthening. Now the dollar strengthening itself is doubted, largely because of the fact that I think the tariff implementation is a subject which is getting postponed, and most likely I think it will have to be calibrated, if not completely written off. So in that kind of a situation, we are not likely to see the dollar remaining firm. Dollar may not remain as strong as it was, I think, post Trump taking the office. So that was a reason which I cited. Second point importantly was that if the saving stops, Indian domestic flows of savings and discretionary consumption that continues in the economy. In fact, the fourth quarter, as we talk to most of the corporates, and as we also see from the advanced tax numbers, the fourth quarter appears to be, I think, a distinctly better quarter compared to previous three quarters, in particular the last two quarters. So from that particular point of view, the earnings are also going to support. Third, last most important, that most important point now, I think this is very important because most of the short coverings in the market had to be covered. And in the first phase of the rally, that is happening. Most of the algorithms, I think, which have been given which were giving the short sell calls in the market, they have actually started giving the buy calls. And that's where I think you are seeing the momentum led buying happening in the market. So all these factors, they are more technical, less fundamentals, but at the same time important for the market participants to know about how to trade that market. Maybe 24,200, 24,800, which we talked then, could be a possibility going forward in next 3 months, 4 months time. So I think one could possibly consider that as a lever to target for.
Mr. Choksi, help us understand what you make of the US Fed commentary. The rates unchanged, that was largely penciled in. They have indicated some cuts going forward from here in the year 2025. They have, kind of revised upwards the inflation targets and lowered the growth projections as well. What does that really mean for the overall, sentiments on the Lal Street?
So a couple of things I think it's reality again. Uh, the rate cut is inevitable. Whether you delay by 1 quarter or 1 month, I think that's a very different issue. But rate cut is inevitable because if you are not doing rate cut, then possibly you are pushing the economy into a difficult situation wherein the recovery of the money which has already been lent, I think, would become difficult for the country as a whole. Because on the other side, the growth rate has tapered, and I think that's where the challenge will be for years to bring the growth back into the economy. And should that be the reality, then you will have to bite the bullet. You will have to bring down the rate of interest. I guess I think that's where the reality is. If the rate of interest is brought down, then in such situation, I think with the effect of bound and turning positive, the allocation of money will have to go towards equity, and that too, I think the emerging market equity in order to bring larger return for the investors. So we are distinctly optimistic and positive about the possibilities. One important possibility can also be not ruled out is the truce happening between the Russia and the Ukraine, and also the Israel and Palestine. I guess I think that is where again we are likely to see the larger amount of positive impact in the global economy because of the war getting stopped, and maybe I think because of that the reconstruction activity starting in the global economy. So that's going to be very positive going forward for many of the commodity sectors, stocks as well.
Devinsa, if I have to ask you on particular sectors, then, IT particularly, what is it that you are looking at in the IT space? Especially, we are just about, 20 odd days away from the earnings to begin. What's your expectation on that front? Will we have another quarter of a damp squib as far as the IT sector is concerned? If that were to be the case, what should one do with the existing positions?
So at the most, I think as I expect, most of the IT companies are likely to remain little bit cautious, but they are not going to bring down their guidance. That is important to understand. If we are not bringing down the guidance, that means that I think in subsequent quarters we are working for building up the higher amount of growth in the company and in the industry. So if that is a reality that we are asking for, then in my viewpoint, I think we are likely to see a gradual upside into IT, and it is largely also because of the fact that most of the global corporates will have no choice but to shift themselves to the space like computing, twin digital, and at the same time, adoption of AI. That's a reality, and that's where the role of IT companies would be. So, in my viewpoint, it's a calibrated up move that one can expect in IT companies' earning forecast going forward.
Okay. The other sector is banks and financials, sir. It's really come out to be a consensus play. Finally, things are moving on the higher side, especially on the heavyweight private sector banks and financials, which were lying low so far. If I have to ask you, what will be your top few bets within the banks and financials? How would you go about it, sir?
Corporate banks and the large NBFCs and the large housing finance companies would be the real good choice to begin with. Some changes are also happening in the insurance businesses, and particularly where likes of LIC getting into the health insurance. That is also a good sign, basically, I think, for the insurance sector as a whole. Of course, the Bajaj insurance companies and alliances breakup is also, I think, a positive sign according to me, because that will probably allow both the players to chart their own course in a very systematic manner, in particular for Bajaj, who has been in the business for last 20 years plus now. In my report, I think they will have relatively better times going forward in the insurance business. So, yes, we remain distinctly positive about the corporate banks, distinctly positive about the housing finance business, positive about the large consumer NBFC businesses, and also the fact that insurance companies are likely to chart growth path, which is going to be superior compared to previous 20 years in next 10 years.
Okay, got that. So that's as far as the banks and financials go. Apart from this, I want to just talk about a recent move. Yesterday, we saw all the defense stocks really rallying in trade. Of course, there was this German trigger that came in. But do you really believe that the worst is behind and this space could yet again go on performing like its previous rally? Or still do you think the valuations do not justify them moving too much from where they are currently? How would you go about, say, GRSE, Cochin, Mazagon, HALBL kind of stocks, sir?
So I'm reminded about the defense business and my views in a way. I've been maintaining that defense companies have fantastic future ahead because the government spending money and making India is becoming a reality. They will continue to grow well, but expecting them to grow much faster than the GDP rate of growth is going to be asking for trouble as far as the stock market and stock price is concerned. Because if your GDP at nominal level is around 11-12%, where you will expect defense companies to grow around 15%. If you think that defense companies are going to be growing at 50%, then you are justified in giving the price ratio of 40 and 60 to these companies. I guess I think that reality is again once again back. People have started buying the momentum. They are buying momentum in the name of growth in defense. It's getting very well, but I think the growth rate is not supporting the valuation. So I am very comfortable buying any company which is a good fundamental, but not at a fancy price. I would probably I think go with fair price propositions.
Okay. Another recent up move that we've been seeing is across the new age tech space. This entire pack had been lying low, and suddenly we see a lot of action coming back on Paytm, PB Fintech, Zomato that's been recovering from its 201 odd lows to now above 220, 225 odd levels. One Quick Systems, the way it's been rallying for the past few sessions. Delivery, which has been a large underperformer, has started to move again. What's your own sense on this entire pack, sir? What is the best way to approach the new age tech space after the rally, correction, and then again a reversal that we are seeing?
Once again, I think the same viewpoint which we have discussed in the past.
Okay.
Great companies, great consumer tech businesses, and great solutions that they are providing to customers, undoubtedly. Most of the names which you mentioned. Look at the valuation at which they are putting. If you are buying a good business at a fancy valuation, I guess I think you will have to pay the price for it. I'm not a believer of buying any business. I think which is at quoting at a fancy valuation. These companies are quoting at 50, 100 kind of PEs, even though they may be doing great or they may have the scale up opportunity. The current rally is driven largely by the allocation of funds. I think it's a compulsive allocation of funds into some of the businesses by the portfolio investors. And that's where probably you are seeing the up move into the stock prices. According to me, I think whatever the growth rate they are working with, I'm not talking individual names at this point of time, but the valuations are completely justified at this point of time. This market momentum can take it to the newer levels as far as the price is concerned, but that's a different issue. Fundamentals are not changing because the market prices are changing.
Okay, the new age express. I'll again circle back to what's happening in the US. With just an hour back, we've got this report from Reuters that has indicated that US President Donald Trump has told Breitbart News in an interview on Wednesday that he believes that India is likely to lower tariffs on American goods, because if they do not do the same on April 2nd, they will be charging us the same for each and every tariff that we put. What do you think India's stance is going to be, sir? And do you think if India does not lower this, the trade war is only going to worsen things from here?
Even if you reduce the tariff to zero, for example, in most of the cases, suppose American goods are not going to be cheaper than the goods which are sold in Indian markets. So that is a fundamental reality that we all of us accept. And should it pleases the America by way of number in tariff, bring it down, no issues. America will have to first bring down the cost of production in their own country, supply at a price which they can match in other parts of the world. For example, today Tesla sells Model 3 in China at $40,000.
Okay.
The BYD sells the superior luxurious car next to Mercedes C-Class at $27,000. Can they compete on that price front? If they cannot, even if the tariff is brought down to zero, what happens? I don't think that I think any significant change would happen. Yes, some part of the customers will buy the brand, no doubt about it. But the fact that I think it will kill the industry in India, I think it's a ruled out proposition. On the contrary, it will only bring up the existing players to produce premium products and start competing with them with a better price.
Okay, I think we will have to continue to wait to find out what really happens on April 2nd. But of course, point taken, sir. And thank you so much for being with us in the morning edition and helping us navigate through all these, pros and cons that are really doing well for the markets at this point in time. Always a pleasure to speak to you and listen to your wise words, sir, on markets. Thank you so much. Appreciate your time.
Thank you. Thank you, Sakshi.
All right, 914, 23,036 is what you have on the Nifty. Let's hope that this opens up higher and continues to build on the last 3 days of gains. We could be opening about 0.5% up. A lot of stocks that you will need to watch out for today. There's going to be auto space that will be watched out for. After Tata Motors and Maruti, it's Hyundai Motor that's talking about a price rise starting April. So that's going to be important to watch. Apart from this, there are going to be several other stocks that are going to be important to also track as well. We have Trent that's going to be in focus. The Tata Group company has signed a share purchase agreement to acquire THPL Support Services from Trent Hypermarket Private Limited. That will be in focus as well. And there you have it. The first tick on the Nifty, 23,000 is with us. And you can see a 0.4% of an uptick on the Nifty Bank as well. Among the sectors, I think only consumer durables opening with the tad below flat line kind of a move, but rest of the spaces still hold up. Broader markets in fine shape, small caps up by 0.9%. You have the metals that are doing well, 0.5% of an uptick on this one. Realty, IT, auto, oil and gas, some gains can be seen here. Top movers on the Nifty are Shriram Finance, Power Grid, BEL, Bharti Airtel, Wipro as among those top movers on the Nifty. Let's look at the trends on the downside. You have Sun Pharma, Dr. Reddy's, ITC, Trent, Coal India, Asian Paints as among those stocks which are on the lower end. So pharma and consumer durables are actually giving up some kind of gains. PSU stocks 0.8% higher. You have stocks like NMDC up by about 1.5% higher. IRFC, NHPC, Oil India, BEL and Power Grid. Even PFC and REC that are doing very well. On the F&O space, NCC tops the charts, Bharat Forge follows, IRFC, Manappuram Finance also again pulls up. On the lower end, you have KEI Industries again losing ground, Polycab again losing ground, Havells again losing ground, cables and wires segments under pressure. 197 Communications giving up some of the last few days of gains. Jubilant Foods also under pressure. Let's look at the Nifty 500 basket. What are the names here? Garden Reach Shipbuilders, after a 20% circuit yesterday, 4% higher in trade even today. Let's look at Senco Gold. That's on a stronger footing. You have a 5% uptick on this one. Premier Explosives continuing its up move from last couple of trading sessions. You also have names like India Hume Pipes, that's up. Paras Defense is also up and about, so the defense space is again garnering a lot of momentum. Let's also pull up Mazagon and Cochin for you to really see how things are shaping up. 104 points higher on the Nifty. What's not doing well? KEI Industries, Polycab, Havels, I mentioned. Those are the top losers in the Nifty 500 basket. Apart from that, are there any other names? HPL Engineering. You also have names like Alps Industries, 197 Communication down, and Setco Automotive also among the top losers there. On the Nifty Next 50 list, you have names like Info Edge, Zomato up and about. Zomato now at 227. Some PSU banks like Punjab National Bank, Bank of Baroda also up and about. Indigo again continuing with its up move. The stock is above 5,000 levels now, 1.3% higher. Geo Financial Services doing well. You also have names within the real estate pack that are pulling up. Macro tech developers, for instance, is up and about in trade. QSR space, Varun Beverages is also up. Adani Group stocks are also up and about. You have Adani Green Energy, Adani Energy Solutions, all of these stocks that are pulling up in trade. Within the small caps, you have Aarti Industries, Avas Financiers, AB Real Estate, Affle India is among those stocks that are up. Remember, yesterday there was also this capital goods move that we had actually seen. Capital market stocks, apologies. So those were the pockets that were up and about. You can again see second day of a continuation on Geojit, that's up 3% today. Manappuram Finance, Muthoot. You also have names like Nuvama Wealth, that's up and about in trade as well. So all of these stocks are buzzing higher in trade. What's pulling up? PSU banks 1% higher. You do see some interesting names there. Central Bank of India, Indian Overseas Bank, Punjab and Sindh Bank, all of them, the second rung ones are pulling up. IT stocks finally recovering, showing us some green, 1% higher for the IT names as well. Among the top movers now you have Wipro, Emphasis, Coforge, LTI, Mindtree, Infosys, all of these stocks that are up and about as well. Let's welcome another guest on the board. We have Kunal V. Parar, Vice President Technical Research at Choice Equity Broking, now joining in. Warm welcome, Kunal, and thank you so much for taking the time out. Tell us, how do you see the opening today?
Yeah, opening is at very good level. Right now, Nifty is trading at the 23,020 level, up by 100 points. Not only this, Nifty is like continuously trading above 22,700 level, and this is like third consecutive day that Nifty is trading above its 50 mm on 100 mm on early chart. And if you look after this option chain analysis, then throughout the strike price in put side, we have been witnessing some solid bit of position. Not only this, if you look after the call side strike price, then in the money we are witnessing short covering, and OTM we are witnessing some long build up position. So all this equation goes in favor of bullish side momentum only. So we may see a further upside momentum up to the level of 23,250, and if Nifty breaks this 23,250, then further upside would be there up to the level of 23,400. So yes, definitely we may see a good upside momentum during upcoming trading session.
Okay, any key stocks then, Kunal, that you're looking at right at opening? Which are the key stocks that you would look at, especially from the large caps?
Well, one to two stocks are there which looks very attractive, and first is M&M. The way stock has been trading on a daily chart, right now stock is trading at 2,833, and the way stock has been trading, I think we may see a further good upside momentum. The counter, one can get into the stock at present level with 6 stop loss at 2,765. And if you talk about the target side, then first target comes at 2,940, and if stock breaks this level, then further upside momentum would be there up to the level of 3,200. So M&M looks very attractive on a daily chart.
M&M looks very attractive on the daily charts. IT recovery, what do you have to say about that, Kunal? Today, 1.5% higher. This space has been a big laggard. Would you buy this surge that we are seeing, or do you think this is a dead cat bounce on the IT pack?
Well, definitely, I'll be considered as a dead cat bounce only because we have been witnessing a sharp correction in the counter in recent days. Not only in this, if we talk about Nifty IT index itself, right now trading at 36,716. One time it was trading more than a 14,000 level. So definitely, correction is still pending and volatility is not getting settled down as of now. So definitely, I'll avoid this counter as of now.
Okay, got that. Let's talk about defense names that rallied yesterday and are continuing their momentum even today. Kunal, what's looking positive to you? Where do you think the momentum can further continue after a 5% uptick on the Nifty Defense Index yesterday? There's another 1.5% uptick. Many stocks are again showing initial bounces. Do you think this will continue to go on the positive side?
Well, definitely we have been seeing a very good upside momentum in the defense counter since last 2 to 3 days. Not only this, if you talk about Nifty defense, I know trading at 6,135 up by 1%. Paras, ERC, MTR, Tech, data patterns, all are trading at a very good level. But yes, I will like keeping an eye on one particular stock. It's a HL. Right now, HL is trading at 3,803 level. Stock has already given a breakout of its flag formation and we may see a further upside momentum in the counter from the present level. One can get into the stock at present level 3,803 level. If we talk about the SL side and downside, strong support comes at 3,720 level and first target that we can see it's 38,860 and afterwards 4,040 would be there. So HL looks very attractive and not only this HL but yes BEML also looks very attractive at present level. The way stock has been trading on a daily chart and on hourly chart, stock has already given a breakout of its recent top which was placed at 2,700. One can get into the stock at present level with strict stop loss at 2,700. If we talk about first target, then first target comes at 3,040 and if stock breaks this level, then further upside would be there up to the level of 3,300. So HL and BEML looks very attractive on a daily chart and hourly chart.
Okay, fair point. Let's discuss one space which is actually showing us some weakness also today, the cables and the wires segment. All the three prominent stocks, Polycab, KEI, Havells, they're declining in the early morning trading session. There's a dip of almost 5 to 7 odd percent. Remember, this space had got under pressure about 2 weeks, 3 weeks back when Ultratech Cement said that they're going to be foraying into the cables and the wire segment, and the space got under pressure because a heavyweight was entering. Slowly and gradually, they recovered from the knee-jerk reaction, but as things would play it, now Adani Group has announced their foray into the cables and the wires segment, and again there is some kind of a weakness that you're seeing across the board yet again. So, RR Cabel, Finolex Cables, Polycab, or the entire segment seems to be under pressure. This is after, as of yesterday, Adani Enterprises announced that they are going to be incorporating a JV called Pranitha Eco Cables, in which Kutch Copper, their JV partner, will have a 50% stake, and they will now be focusing on the wires and the cables segment. Kunal, what do you have to say about this then?
Well, as of now, I'll literally avoid these counters because before 2 to 3 weeks, news were there related to the Ultratech that they are going to enter into space, and today we got the news about the Adani. Even Adani is planning to get into this sectors. And now volatility will be like very high after this Adani's news. So it's like please avoid these counters as of now until we get the volatility settled down. Afterwards, we will take a call.
Okay, after that, we will take a call. Let's look at the market setup yet again. What a strong move on IT. Now 2.3% higher on the index itself. It's only building on. The top contributors on the Nifty also, if you see, out of the 5 top movers on the Nifty, at this moment, you have 4 top movers from the IT pack itself. You have Wipro, that's up 3% now. Infosys, that's up 3% nearly. TCS, that's up 2%, HCL Tech, that's up 2% as well. Along with this, there is Hero MotoCorp as the 5th top mover on the Nifty. IT coming back in a strong shape and form, so keep an eye out on this one. Let's also look at some of the other pockets that are doing well. Real estate, that's another space that's coming back. Remember, even yesterday there was some kind of a recovery. Again, there is a recovery that continues on Macrotech, Prestige, Sobha, Brigade. These are the pockets that you can continue to look at. Small caps, 1% higher in small caps. Remember, last 2-3 days of recovery in the markets. You've also seen greater participation coming in from the broader markets. You have media stocks like Z Entertainment that's up by 5.4% in trade today. So a strong move that actually can be seen on Z Entertainment today. NCC is about 5% higher. KEC International, Sonata Software. You have Zensar Tech, Birla Soft Science, Intellect Design, Midcap IT names also doing very well in trade in the morning edition. Kunal, broader markets, mid and small caps, what looks appealing to you in terms of stocks?
Well, definitely we are seeing a very good upside momentum in the broader market. Nifty is up by 132 points, and the way all the stocks has been trading in Nifty 50, I think top five are from the IT sector itself. But yes, I'm not going to give any recommendation, particularly in the IT counters,
Okay.
because volatility is very high, and today is the first day after 4 to 5 days of continuous losing streak. So we will avoid this stock, but yes, definitely we have already considered this M&M for long position, but afterwards, if we look after any stock which looks very attractive, then ISA Motor is there. It's up by 1.88%, trading at 5200, and the way stock has been trading on a daily chart, I think further upside momentum would be there from the present level. One can get into the stock at the present level with strict stop loss at 5060 level, and if you talk about upper side target, and first target comes at 5003 level, 5300, and if stock breaks this level, the further upside momentum would be there up to the level 5600. So my both picks from our auto sectors only, M&M and ISO Motors, both looks very attractive to go for long position, not only for intraday or for trading perspective, but definitely this stock looks very attractive even for medium term to long term.
Okay, got that. Let's take some other names which are the top movers in trade today. India Bulls Real Estate, 8% higher at 118. NCC, we marked 5% higher in trade today. Wockhardt Pharma is 5% up. You have KEC International, that's nearly 5% higher. Eris Life Sciences is up nearly 11 odd percent in trade. These are some of the top movers within the broader markets again in trade today. We are also looking at names like Manapuram Finance also jumping high. Let's discuss this one. Gold story has been continuously going higher. By the way, keep an eye out on the Nifty, 150 points higher now. 23,055 is with us on the Nifty. So we'll come back to the Nifty question. But Manapuram Finance, top mover in the F&O space. Kunal, what do you have to say about this one? Gold continues to shine brighter. Do you think this is going to be again a space that one can be watched out for?
Yes, definitely. Stock is trading at the 216 level, and it has already gone a breakout of its 209 level, which was acted as a strong resistance. So now this resistance has become good support for the counters, and the way stock has been trading in an upper rising channel formation, I think further upside momentum would be there based on this channel formation. If we talk about the upper side target, then first target that we can see is at 230, and if stock breaks this 230, then further upside would be there up to the level of 244. So definitely it looks very attractive on a daily and weekly chart. One can get into the stock at present level with strict stop loss of 209.
Okay, fair point. Let's keep an eye out on some other stocks and sectors then. What can we look at? PSU banks, do they give you convincing moves at this point in time, Kunal? Would you go with any PSU bank which is in a momentum right now?
Well, if you talk about PSUs, then Bank of India, Maharashtra banks are there, which looks very attractive. Not only this, Indian bank also looks very attractive. Right now, trading at the 532 level. The way stock has been trading on a daily chart. Further upside momentum would be, to the level of 540 to 560. And if you talk about support size and downside, strong support comes at 550. So Indian banks looks very attractive. Not only this, Maharashtra bank, which is trading at the 48 level. I think the way stock has been trading on a daily chart, stock has already given a breakout on its early chart. It has been trading 50 mm chart. So yes, for the time being, trend is up, and we may see a further upside momentum in this counter. One can get into the stock at 48 level with strict stop loss of 44. And if you talk about upper side target, and 52 would be the first target, and afterwards 56 would be our target. So Indian bank, Maharashtra, very attractive on a daily chart, weekly chart, and hourly chart.
Okay, fair point. 23,064, we are building onto the gains that we are seeing on the Nifty. near the high point of the day. For the day particularly, Kunal, where do you see the Nifty progressing? And between the Nifty and the Nifty Bank, do you think Nifty has a stronger chance today?
Well, definitely. I think the way both the index are trading, I think Nifty is outperforming the Bank Nifty, trading at 23,062 level. And as we already discussed, I think further upside would be there up to the level of 23,250. And if you talk about Bank Nifty trading at 49,968, up by only 260 points, and further upside would be there up to the level of 50,100. So yes, more spaces there for the Nifty to go up rather than the Bank Nifty.
Okay, got that. Let's look at some of the other names as well, what we can pick up. Okay, let's discuss the NBFC space and the brokerage related stocks that were in sharp momentum yesterday. Some gains are continuing even today. Which is the most promising stock on the NBFC broking space that you find on the charts today, Kunal?
Well, if you talk about broking space, exchange space, angle one look to the way stock has been on, on its daily chart right now trading at 2265. Stock has already given a breakout of its double bottom formation at 2150 level, right now trading at 2260. So we may see further upside momentum up to the level of 2420 and afterwards 2550. If we talk about SL side, then downside the support comes at 2200, so one can get into the stock with strict SL of 2200. And not only this, I think even MCX looks very attractive on exchange side. Right now, stock is trading at the 5,252. One can get into the stock at present level because stock has been trading on an higher top, higher bottom formation on an early chart. We will keep SL. We will keep SL at the 5,100. If you talk about upper side target, the first target comes at 5,510, and afterwards MCX may march towards the 5,780. So from this space, I think MCX and Angel Ones can do some better for our traders and investors.
Okay, fair point. Hope that gives you a little bit sense as to how to approach this pack too. When we're talking about the NBFC space, I also wanted to get a sense on the insurance basket as well. Kunal, a lot of things are happening. We've seen what happened with Bajaj and Allianz, so takeover happening there. LIC is talking about taking over a health player as well. Insurance space is undergoing a massive transformation at this point in time. Regulatory changes are going to be taking place. We expect, market changes with the way that, life insurers will be able to sell health insurance policies, health will be able to sell life. So all of these is going to really redefine the way they do business. How would you pick out some stocks from here?
Well, definitely yes. Some some major changes is going to happen, and not only this. Even I think even 2 to 3 days before we heard a news that Patanjali is also going to get into this,
Yes,
insurance sector.
rightly
So
so.
even it creates a buzz for the insurance sector, and among these counters, as if you talk about HDFC Life or SBI Life or Star Health Insurance and all, I think SBI Life looks very attractive on a daily chart. It has been trading above some 100 days moving average, and stock has already given a breakout of its double top formations on a daily chart. So multiple equations are there which is favoring this bullish side momentum. One can get into the stock at present level. Right now stock is trading at the 1497 level. If you talk about the SL side, then one can keep SL at 1450, and first target that we can witness is 1550, and afterwards even it may march towards the level of 1660. So among this insurance counter, SBI looks very attractive, and one can go for confident trading in this counter.
Okay, fair point. So that's something that we will keep an eye out on. Apart from this, I also wanted to get a sense on Indigo as an individual stock with you. Why are we discussing this? Is consistently we are seeing brokerage houses come up with higher targets on this one. Nuvama today has a hold rating on this with a 4768 kind of target price, although the stock has gone up above that. There are many targets that are also coming in higher than 5,000 odd levels. The stock is now up 4%. There has been a consistent move. Let's actually pull up last 1 month chart. That will actually give us and our viewers an understanding of how the stock has really pulled up in the last 1 month. A lot of momentum has gained. Look at it. I mean, 19% higher. Let's pull up the last 6 months chart and you'll see how the stock was going on for the last 6 months. A large part of it was in a correction zone, and now you see how it has happened in 2025 alone. And let's pull up the 3 months chart and you'll see it's all this year when the momentum has come back. 20% gains on Indigo is what you have already seen. Jeffries has a buy rating and a 5700 target on Indigo, so that one is a big target that we are getting again. There was this analyst day takeaways that people were talking about, how Indigo expects its PAX traffic and capacity to grow in nearly double digits by estimated FY26. Q4 they believe is going to be better than the earlier guidance as well. That's another trigger point. And they believe the industry PAX traffic to also double by FY30 estimated to 510 million vis-a-vis 242 million seen in FY25. So it's going to be just doubling with the kind of air passenger traffic that we are going to be seeing. And remember, we have the only solid stock which is listed on the exchanges. It's Indigo. At 5182, does it give you that risk reward benefit, or would you be a little skeptical here, Kunal?
Well, the way stock has been trading on a daily chart, even stock has just entered into an uncharted territory, and it has also given a breakout of its recent top, which was placed at 5058 level. Now, I think no risk reward is not in favor for creating a long position, but I think those who has already have a position in this counter, I think please hold this stock, because we will see a further upside movement up to the level of 5,395, and if stock breaks this level, then 5,700 would be there. Now the more important thing is that everyone is waiting. It's like a Q1 result of this airlines industries, because Jan and Feb was like fantabulous month for this aviation industries and the hotel industries because of this Mahakumbh. So we can expect a very good numbers in this Q1, and based on this number, I think further spurt would be there in this aviation counters.
Okay. In fact, Indigo has hit a fresh high of 5180 in trade today, and there's an expectation that it can continue to move up further higher at 5700 as well, is what Jeffries really expects. So this is clearly one of the best trading stocks today, so keep an eye out on this one. Let's look at some of the other moving parts in the market as well. IT, remember, it's moving up strongly, 2% higher. Realty, auto, these are the three top moving sectors. Along with this, we also have small caps. Oil and gas also returning in flavor. Anything in oil and gas story that interests you at all, Kunal?
Yes, definitely. This stocks, these sectors looks very attractive.
Okay.
OFS particularly, I think one can keep an eye on IOC, BPCL, HPCL, because all these three companies are like very well dividend paying company as well. And
Yeah.
if you talk about daily chart, good bullish reversal formation is there, so one can get into the stock. I'm not talking now for intraday or trading perspective, because this stocks looks very attractive for medium term to long term,
Yeah.
and double bonanza, double dhamaka would be there in terms of capital gain from the present level. Not only this, dividend also will be there. So this stock looks very attractive. If we pick any particular stock, then IOC looks very attractive right now, trading at 128 level. And if you talk about upper side level, then 150 would be the first target, and afterwards even it may march up to the level of 180. So capital gain would be there, but yes, this stock particularly is very good dividend paying as well. So even our investors, our viewers can also get the very good dividend. So please keep an eye on this IOC.
Keep an eye out on IOC. Okay, got that. All right, let's look at some of the other pockets. Okay, what's picking up pace somehow after some days of decline is also the FMCG pack, now up 0.6% higher in trade. And the top stocks here: United Breweries, Varun Beverages, Godrej Consumer Products, Britannia, Marico. Some moves right here. Anything that takes your mind here that one should be really looking at?
Well, from this defensive sector, FMCG, no doubt all
Yeah.
the stocks are trading at very good level. UBL trading up by 4%, Godrej CP up by 2%, and one to two stocks are there which looks very attractive. And I'll pick this United Spirit, the way stock has been trading on its daily chart, we may see a good upside momentum in the counter from the present level. One can get into the stock at present level. Right now, stock is trading at 1362. If you talk about support side, then right now intermediate support comes at the 1320 level. So we will keep 1320 as our SL. And if you talk about target side, then we may see a very good upside momentum in the counter up to the level of 1400, and afterwards it may march towards the level of 1460. So risk reward is in favor for creating a long position only. So United Speed looks very attractive on daily chart.
Okay, fair point. I got that as well. Let's look at the FNO action, Kunal. What looks good on positive as well as on the sell side as well, if you can point out for both of our viewers.
Well, if you talk about selling side, then I think no doubt we have been witnessing some downside momentum in few stocks like Bajaj Finance, Ultratech,
Yeah.
JSWC, Block 80. But the way market is trading and the way positive sentiment has been created in the market since like 3 to 4 days, I think one should avoid for shorting as of now, because volatility is too high for creating any perfect short with proper risk reward. So I'll avoid this shorting for the opportunities as of now. But yes, the way Nifty has been trading and the way few counters has been trading since morning, I think one can get into the one can keep an eye on this Bharti Airtel right now trading at 1670, and recently news was there related to Elon Musk Starlink, and if it comes in India, I think it will give a big boost to Jio and Bharti Airtel. So one can keep an eye on this Bharti Airtel for trading perspective. Right now stock is trading at the 1670 level. One can get into the stock at present level. We will keep SL at 1620. If you talk about the target size, and first target comes at 1720, and afterwards even it may march towards the level of 1760. So risk reward is in favor for creating a long position. One can get into the stock for trading perspective. Not only this, even this stock looks very attractive for medium term to long term. And if you talk about medium term to long term target, then 1880 to 1940 would be there.
Okay, fair point. Got that. So Bharti Airtel is a big buy at this point in time. We'll keep an eye out on that. All right, Kunal, before I let you go, help us understand that, we've already had this 23,045, 23,050 with us, 150 points higher. What are the chances that you are penciling in or betting on that we will be testing our erstwhile high sooner than later?
Well, chances are very high because all the volatilities, all the uncertainties has been settled down now, and
Okay.
we are stepping into this new financial year.
Yes.
And I think some hard on street news will be there related to this LTCG and all. So it will give a big boost, particularly to our Indian market. And I think one should wait for this Q1 numbers, because this Q1 will be like very magnificent for all the hotel industries, aviation industries, not only this FMCG as well. So I think after the April or May, I think we may see a very good upside momentum in the market up to the level of 2400 to 2400, 24,000 and 24,500.
Okay, fair point. Well, thank you so much then, Kunal, for being with us in the morning edition, helping us sift through all the market moves in the morning trade. First half an hour now out in trade. We are strong, 142 points higher, 23,050. Remains to be seen whether we actually hold on, or is there any kind of sell off at the higher levels. Right now the Nifty is outperforming the Nifty Bank, and you can see a 0.6% of an uptick on the Nifty, 0.4% uptick on the Nifty Bank. IT is coming back strongly, so that's really supporting today, over 2% higher for this one. Autos are now driving in a faster lane too, a percent higher. Eicher Motors was marked by Kunal there. You have small caps that are also participating, 0.8% up. Realty, oil and gas, PSU banks, all of them are up and about, barring just slight losses on metals, which is giving up that bit of gains that it had garnered in the last few days. All the sectors are up. Even India VIX is down by nearly 2% at 13 level, so that's okay, comfortable. On the Nifty, we have top movers like Wipro, Infi, TCS, HCL Tech and Bharti Airtel, something that again Kunal mentioned is on his top radar as far as Bharti is concerned. On the lower end, again, you have Adani Ports, Bajaj Finance, L&T, JSW Steel, Cement Space, Ultratech and Tata Steel down. So metals giving up some gains. On the FNO space, again, Manappuram Finance is the top mover. NCC, Syngene International, Birla Soft and Mahanagar Gas are the top movers, whereas on the downside, like we have already discussed, the cables and the wire segment, KEI, Polycab and Havells and even Paytm is giving up tad bit of gains. But let's continue to focus on how the market moves will continue to shape in. You can stay with us on Business Today Television to track the market momentum. 12 noon is when I'll be back with daily calls that answers all your stock related queries. Stay tuned with us on Business Today.
Business Today Mind Rush, presented by PwC, is back, bigger and bolder than ever.
Received this honor with great responsibility.
For 13 years, this premier event